spark. Stephen Allen, almost daily. Laughs and facts served out cleanly. Your dose of wit, it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Hello and welcome to another Stephen Allen Almost Daily. Yep, I think it's working. So let's try and turn all the business off. Look, the new intro, thanks to Proper Memes, who's in the chat already. If you would like to get involved, well, the YouTube chat is available to you. At some point, I plan on getting it up on the screen, but for now, the chat, hey, steady on, get off. Hello and welcome to this live streaming version of the podcast. If you subscribe to the Spotify and the YouTube, not the non-YouTube bit, you can get the audio-only ones. There's one yesterday. I've realised I've left that light on. Is the lighting all right? Because I've left normally I don't leave that one on. It's not as professional as I thought. So if you are new here, this is what I do now. Every couple of times a week, I do a live stream look through some rubbish from the tabloids. We often start off with a look at the front pages. It's an interesting one today. Let's get the ones up that I can see as well. Front pages of your eye newspaper. A revolutionary bionic chip helps blind patients to regain sight. Fantastic news. I've often wondered with these, how do they power them? Because you don't have to cram a battery up there, do you? And apparently it's like a photovoltaic cell that uses infrared light. So infrared light comes in your eye and powers the little chip, thinner than a human hair. That's the end of my knowledge. What I do know, though, is the kind of people who spend all of their time saying 5G because Bill Gates wants to put a chip in you, don't mind it when people actually put a chip in you. I've not seen anyone push back. It's all about control, this. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. None as blind as those who will not see, or something. Front page of what else we got here? The Mirror. Goes with what did the palace know, the latest on the Andrew scandal. Maybe more on that later. But I will say, how would the palace know what Prince Andrew was up to? How would him and his close protection officers, how would they know what him and the protection officers who were close to him, who were employed by the palace, how would they get someone close to him who could say what he's doing next to the close protection? I think they knew. I think we can all be there. Front page of let's have a look. Mail goes with just how can Andrew afford the Royal Lodge? Is that the biggest scandal here? I take bigger issue on some of the other things it's accused that he's done rather than how does a royal get a rather free life just because they do. But the stuff on the island and the rest of it, that's the dodgy stuff. And I don't like the idea that my taxpayers' money was used allegedly to besmirch the name of someone who was an Andrew accuser. Let's get all of her. Let's break GDPR on her. I don't want to pay for that. I'm just aware as a Brit, we have to pay for the royals to have a nice life. That's how it works, isn't it? Some bizarre system where one family is decreed to be better than us all and we all have to pay for it. That one, Daily Mail, I don't mind. What a weird angle for the Daily Mail. The Good Chocolate Guide, what's in yours? Chocolate, I imagine, says the Times. Andrew has not paid rents since 2003. Again, not the shocking thing. But the Met to stop investigating non-crime hate incidents after the Linehan case. Good. Did we actually? I think we've got more on that later as well. But I'm bringing it up at the start because for years now, I've been going on various media outlets saying maybe the police should investigate crimes. You don't have to think what's in that incident is a good thing. But you can say two thoughts can be true at the same time in your head. Maybe hate is bad. Maybe police do crimes. If it's a non-crime hate incident, we could discuss it. Well, I got ideas. Front page of the Telegraph today. Up the top, forgetfulness or Alzheimer's, the 10 biggest red flags. We'll talk about that before the end of the show. Don't worry, we'll come back to that one. Something went wrong, says the Metro. This is yesterday's internet went down. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. I didn't notice. Maybe I don't use the internet as much as I thought I did, but it's great. One thing I did notice is that apparently Ring doorbell, I didn't realize they were owned by Amazon or they used the Amazon service. For whatever reason, it meant that the Ring doorbell system was down, which meant you could go around to your neighbour's house and just go blah, 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 in front of their Ring door camera for once. It's weird, isn't it? It's not something I ever wanted to do before those cameras were invented. But as soon as they were invented, I realised you can't do that because they'll have footage of it. I wanted to do it. And then finally yesterday, You got to chase your dreams, haven't you? And then front page of the Eye is the one we've already done. So, boom, we are across the front pages. What we do next is we go inside the newspapers, take a little look at the comment section, which so far just seems to be Proper Memes. We're having a quiet start to the week. Proper Memes, who's back once again with the ill behaviour. Better to avoid infrared heaters and saunas then. What, if you're powering... No, because you're powering it, aren't you? If you've got a chip in your eye, which is powered by infrared, you want to slap some infrared in there. I don't know which frequency it uses. You have to have the frequency with enough energy to get the excitation of the electrons happening. And obviously you can calculate that using Einstein's equation E equals hf, where h is Planck's constant. But if you've got the right frequency, you could just get the remote control and just do that in your eye. Recharge your batteries. Not a bad idea. Andrew is a lodger, says Proper Memes. Is that the latest status he's got? I plan to write this up on Substack, but I didn't get around to it. I probably won't today as well because my son's got a Halloween party to go to. But I was on GB News reviewing the newspapers on a daytime show Saturday morning. Oh, yeah. I got to do daytimes now as well. I'm not just some Johnny come quickly. I'm like a proper newspaper reviewer. And is that the phrase, by the way? Now I say it out loud. I'm not sure that's the phrase. But I reviewed the newspaper Saturday morning. The news story was... that Prince Andrew lost his titles. Said he wouldn't be using them. You know what I mean? It's not quite the same, is it? I'm not Sawn declaring the car. Actually, no, it is. It's like Sawn declaring the car. I'm not getting rid of the car. I will declare it off-road. That's all he's done. I don't know if it is a punishment because I've never been called the Duke of anything. But it seems like the biggest punishment he's got is having to get new-headed notepaper printed. That's all that's happened, isn't it? So anyway, on that morning... I said that it's clear something else is coming down the pipeline. Why was that news happening on Saturday? And everyone in the room was like, oh, it's been a bit conspiratorial. Sunday, the news breaks. Look what he got up to. Some of the things he was accused of getting up to. He won't sue me. He's too busy. Emsicle says, not a sweat lodge, though. That's true. I mean, the guy lampoons himself. Of all the excuses, me, sweat, can't. No, I can't. What, that physiological system that all mammals do unless you're covered in fur? That would have been the angle, wouldn't it? Well, actually, I can't sweat because I'm a dog, so I pant. I lose moisture through respiration, and that is how I cool down, Emily. One of the things that happened, there was that quote, or the coverage of it, was that they found something that disproved something he said to Emily Maitlis. And some of the coverage I've heard was like, look, we've proved that he lied to Emily Maitlis. We all knew he did, didn't we? But also, that's not the problem here either, is it? Him getting a free house and him lying. There's no law against lying to Emily Maitlis. There are laws against some of the other stuff. Can't we look at that? Why, he lied to Emily Maitlis. I can't sweat. It's not the best impression, but he did lean back like that, didn't he? I got a chair and I know how to use it. And Proper Meme says maybe it's an infrared sweat lodge. That would do it. And then just says the word dogging in the comment section, question mark. Look, these are the kind of invites you should send on Twitter. At Mr. Stephen Allen on there. The comment section on YouTube is no place for a request of dogging. Right, let's jump inside the news.
Let's get inside the news.
Hello, you join me slightly over here. I move during the jingle. Let's get inside the newspapers. Let's start with what big one. Oh, yeah, of course. Let's go full screen on this bad boy, actually. Thieves. Oh, those darned thieves. They nicked some stuff in France. Did you notice? There was a heist. I love it. It's only every so often you get a news story where you need to use the word heist. Thieves riding a cherry picker forced a window at the Louvre, smashing display cases, and fled with priceless Napoleonic jewels in just 4 minutes. What bothers me a little about this story is everyone's saying they got away with the crown jewels. Yeah, you don't have a monarchy, so you don't really... You have jewels, and they can be crowns, but they're not really crown jewels. Do you know what I mean? Crown jewels have to be not just jewels in a crown. They have to be the jewels of the monarch or your testicles. That the crown jewels, the meat and the two veg. The emsicles, if you will. Hopefully that's not offensive. Emsicles, I'm sure that's what you're named after. The meat and the two veg, right? You are the crown jewels. You're welcome. But if you're France, if you don't have the downside of having to pay free rent to help your slightly dodgy princes still have free living, then you don't get to claim you got crown jewels. France saying they lost their crown jewels is like me saying I lost my TV career. It went a while ago. Let's be brutally honest about it. That went a little bit a while ago. Maybe they are just Joodles. Is Joodles in the comment? Have we lost? Is Joodles not here to receive whatever kind of flack you're just about to give her? Keep the comments coming through. This guy worries me. Man, 60, 2.5k, run of Brum. Again, I struggle to understand a lot of these headlines, but there we go. A super fit Brummie has completed Birmingham. The end of level baddie that is Birmingham, after running along every one of the city's 8,000 streets. Nigel Beecroft, 60. How long? We started 2 years ago. 58. All right, fair enough. Impressive, because that means he must have jumped over quite a lot of bin bags. When he started it 2 years ago, he must have thought that would be easier, fewer obstacles. He wanted to originally just be like a good runner, and now he's pretty darn nifty at the hurdles. Do you know what I mean? But I imagine he's finished it, probably because he knew at some stage he had to run past that Aston Villa football ground. I bet you'd speed up then, wouldn't you? Pull your finger out then, wouldn't you, man? Quite like that one. Didn't realise we'd be covering it like that. Guard, 19. Why put the age in the headlines? Do you know what I mean? Emsicle says, did he do all the roundabouts too? Yes. Well, paint them. You might as well. You know what I mean? You've got time on your hands. Proper Meme says, the run turned into a mountaineering exposition of the bin strike. Exactly. Remember when it used to be like butter mountains in Europe, and now it's rubbish in Birmingham? It feels like we've not improved. Anyway, Guard, 19, in court over jail cell sex. A female prison officer faced court yesterday, which now I guess that's still an active case. So after this, we'll not be talking about this case, even though we're not under the control of Ofcom in the same way that I am when I broadcast. I know the rules. I've done the training. So this person has been alleged of romping with an inmate in a cell. But it's not the first case. And there's the other one, where the other woman, the famous, was it in Wandsworth? There was video of her enjoying an inmate, checking for the fact that she wasn't smuggling stuff. I don't know how you'd phrase it, but she did a romp with an inmate, didn't she? It seems to be happening quite a lot now. I worry that this is what's happened to society. I'm not saying like we should not have female prison guards in male prison. Maybe I am, actually, because it wouldn't solve it. It'd change it. You know what I mean? Because it feels like now women are into this. And I don't mean all women. Before you get all womany about it, I'm not being rude to all women. What I am saying is you are a gender that writes letters to people on death row. Women, in general, not all of you, don't get womany about it. I'm not being harsh to all of you. But some of you go like, I just can't find a good man. Meanwhile, you're writing, what's the correspondence address for that mass murderer? So some of it's on you for having weird tastes. And then some of you, given that some of you like a prisoner, you're allowed to get jobs in prisons. It's a bit dodge, isn't it? And then you get up to this. And the reason it's a bit dodge is because our prisons are full and they're not going to get any emptier if you're doing that in there. Even I'm thinking of doing a short spell. Just to 6 months. Proper Meme says perks of the job. I suppose it is. If that's what you're into, and they are. Not all of them. Woman left tie and dry. Don't understand that, but I like it. A holidaymaker suffered a stroke on a girls' trip abroad and woke up with a Thai accent. The Kathy Warren went to Turkey, didn't even go to Thailand. That wouldn't be almost understandable, wouldn't it? If you wake up in Thailand and somehow your post-stroke brain wants to blend in. Went to Turkey to celebrate a birthday. The 29-year-old from Basingstoke had speech therapy, but said her accent still sounds foreign. Kathy said, my mum's... I can't do it. I really wanted to be brave enough to do it. She said, no, I can't. But you know what the joke would have been? That's in some way my biggest fear, because the fact that it can happen at any time, and it would end my broadcast career, wouldn't it? If I had some, one of those temporary ischemic blah, blah, blahs, and woke up and suddenly had one of those accents. Do you reckon I'd still be getting booked doing all the newspaper reviews? Let's find out the latest in the news. Let's join Steve. And then just someone bangs a gong. Is that how they do it? I don't know. I've got pictures to help with this one. That, Britney Spears, right? Brit looks for Geoffrey. This is why I said there'd be more on this story later. Prince Andrew's sex accuser wore a Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera-inspired outfits when she allegedly first met him, it is claimed. And it doesn't say anywhere, does it? It said that's the picture, but we think they mean that. But I think I've got a picture of... I'm not going to judge people for dressing like Britney Spears because... Right? I'm just saying. If I go to a fancy dress party these days, I go as Mental Breakdown Britney. You carry an umbrella and that's it. That's the look. It's very easy for me to... Hit me, baby, one more time. So I'm not sure. I think they mean this one that they've done in the newspaper, but it might be the first time Geoffrey met Andrew. She went like that. That's how I dress if I were invited there. Also in the news, this needs to zoom out, doesn't it? Halloween is now the second most popular family event after Christmas. Parents say the Spookfest is more enjoyable than Easter, New Year's Eve and Bonfire Night. Bonfire Night we should get more into, although it's health and safety. We get scared out of Bonfire Night, don't we? Because every time Bonfire Night comes around, you just have to watch a video of someone getting their hand burnt and they've got an eye covered for no reason. That kind of... Back in the era of Charlie Says health and safety videos, that's what we're talking about. You don't really get that with Halloween, and yet you should. Because Bonfire Night, don't go back to lit fireworks, they can burn you, all of that. Halloween, maybe don't go around asking for sweets from strangers. The rule one of being a kid is don't accept sweets from strangers. Apart from the one night when we will dress you up, you can go around and do it. What are you dressed up as? Well, I'm going like this year, but... You dress the kids up and go and get them to do stuff for sweets. Yeah, I think we need health and safety. And then, what else the other? New Year's Eve. Well, unless you're staying up till midnight getting absolutely trolleyed with your kids. It's not really a kid's holiday, is it? Easter, yeah, I'll give you that. What I don't like about Easter is that it's a bank holiday that's like a double bank holiday. Sundays can't beat bank holidays. So somehow, like some shops are shut on a Sunday. Some shops are shut on if the Swiss wristwatch strap shop, which shop still sells Swiss wristwatch straps? Some shops are shut on a Monday, but when you get your bank holiday Monday, somehow it overlaps to mean you can't buy anything on Easter Sunday. I mean, I'm sure he died for someone's sins, but I like to buy milk. Wait, what? So I agree. I don't like Easter as well. But do you think there are people who, like pagans, who are getting really upset that Halloween's lost its real meaning? And it's just too commercial. It should be back to the traditional values of slaughtering a goat on a stone tablet, but these days it's all the plastic tat. Do you reckon that's what it is? Is that how pagans talk? Adrian says, women just love a bad boy. Are you speaking from experience there? He's not. Turkey Teeth says Emsicles. Who was it? Oh, the woman who came back. Oh, is that what it is? You've hit the nail on the head there. I reckon, yeah, you're right. There was no stroke, was there? She went over there, got turkey teeth, came back with a mouthful of different teeth, and all of a sudden, sounds like she's doing... Well, I won't do the full accent, but you can see how that's heading in that direction. That's right. Ironically, Bonfire Night is scarier than Halloween, says Proper Memes. Better wear a helmet while cycling. Yeah, that's true. Bang, imagine that. You're cycling, you don't wear a helmet, you fall over, bang. Oh, you're on the floor, someone rushes up. How you doing? I'm doing okay. Again, I didn't finish the sentence. It's a shame. I reckon I'd do a good one. I don't, actually. We discovered that the other day. I can do a Yoda, but when I was thinking about mixing the voice up with a sumo story, it just comes out like Yoda. Back into the news. Muddy Blunder is 155k in pounds. Building firms have forked out £155,000 for repeatedly polluting a beauty spot. And this is the problem, right? That's less than the value of a house, isn't it? So they're building houses, right? And they get fined less than one of those houses. We used to cover stories like this when I was working on BBC Kent. There'd be building developments where there would be a legal requirement for how many affordable properties in that whole thing, because we're knocking up loads of new build stuff. I drove through Gravesend last night, because I used to live around there, and I did a gig in Rochester. So I just drove past where I used to live. And there's an entire massive area that didn't have anything there before. It was a wasteland or something. And now it's like a huge housing development. And we used to cover stories of places that were required to have so many affordable housing units. And they didn't, and they paid the fine. And the money they made on the fancy property paid way more than the fine. This is the world we're living in. This just in, new Stephen Allen GIF is now available on social media. Nice. Is it? Is the nice one available? I'll have a search later on. I do like having a GIF or a GIF. It seems ruder if I say I like having a quick GIF, doesn't it? I need to zoom out for this one. Aliens have made first contact with a warning to save the Earth, boffins claim. Experts say they've deciphered messages written on a mysterious metal sphere which crashed in South America earlier this year. Good. It would be funny if it said, if found, please return to, and then there's just some coordinates. Or can we have a ball back, please? It's probably that's what it is. You might think you've deciphered it. I think it's just, if found, please return to. They appear to be carrying the first message to the world from E.T., the alarming caution from far away in time and space. I suppose, yeah. I suppose, what, from a while ago, you mean? Because it took a while to get here. That's a weird way of doing it. I've had some letters sent through Royal Mail that are far away in time. Urges mankind to take steps to protect the planet before it's swallowed up by a biblical scale flood. I think it's Ed Miliband, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Is it more likely to be aliens or Ed Miliband got one of these things made, trotted over there? Oh, look, net zero. Solved another one. Can't believe. The first rule of Jazz Club is... Hang on. Wrong one. Oh, nice. It's harder than it looks here. I've got a keypad. I'm thinking of trying to get a Stream Deck. No one wants a meme of someone saying Stream Deck like they're on the toilet, do they? We've got to rattle through these. We've got so many news stories to get. Plus, also, I've got an energy drink, which we could drink today. We'll see. Don't feel like I need it today. Female bodybuilders are at increased risk of fatal heart attack. It's unfortunate, but I'd say it's still worth. You keep doing it. Sudden cardiac death is responsible for an unusually high proportion of deaths among muscle women worldwide. Well, take care of your heart, but you keep doing the thing. Now, I like the idea of a woman who... I find it attractive, and I'll tell you why. Never again will I have to open that jar. Do you know what I mean? It'll be a marriage where you just man and wife, but she can just her own jars. None of this, oh, can you have a go? If anything, it'd be nice just to be the other way around, just to feel cared for. Like, I'm 6'2", I'm never going to get to be the little spoon. But what I could say is, can you just do this for me? Thump. You don't even have to use your hands as well. That's what I like about them bodybuilders. Maybe I've been researching different ones. Bloodhound's honour. A dog has beaten his own world record for the most blood donations. It's written like it's voluntarily done. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest about that story. A dog has been milked for so much blood that it's never happened before. No other animal has ever been drained for blood like this one. But we're writing it as if, like, you good dog. You get one of those little badges. I've managed to get a bronze card because I've donated enough blood. And don't get me wrong, both me and him would enjoy the biscuits. But there's a different level of consent. When I'm lying there and they're taking my blood, I know what's going on. I'm fully aware of... I've given blood in Luton. It's not the first person who's lost a pint when they've gone to Luton, but that's one of my nearest places to go to, right? I'm so willing to give blood, I'm even willing to go to Luton. So you know I've consented. That dog is like, oh, I'm off to the vets again. Oh, I feel knackered. What's happened? This poor thing has been absolutely drained. Every Halloween he's donated blood. Yeah, but a poor little thing. Sharwood, anyway, a 9-year-old Gordon setter. Is that a breed or is that... They got the name the wrong way around here. Gave to the Pet Blood Bank 45 times over 7 years. Nominated for a Hero Dog Award by the Kennel Club. but couldn't turn up because he's just an absolute husk. I bet he's got less on the inside of him now than Spit the dog from Bob, whatever his name was, Harold G's, whatever his name was. Owner Sue Mitchell from Bedfordshire said, take it, have it all. Poor thing. They get a gravy bone, Emsicle said. I hope they do. No, they like biscuits, don't they? They should only get dog biscuits. I always go for a club, sometimes two. Because I think I've got special blood. We've been through this before, haven't we? I think I might have, because I've not died yet, I might have blood that keeps me immortal. So every time I give blood, I keep trying to keep an eye on local news to see if there've been some miraculous recoveries in the local in that area. Anywhere around Luton? No one's recovering around Luton, are they? Michael J. Fox is in the news. He hated driving the DeLorean in Back to the Future. The 64-year-old actor says in his memoir, Future Boy, I get to drive that DeLorean. I know what you're thinking. Cool. I thought so too at first, but I soon grew to hate driving DeLorean. First of all, it's a beep car, slow to accelerate. None of this was going through my mind. I was thinking, weren't you lucky you got to be in like a classic film? I didn't give two flips about whether you enjoyed driving the car. I don't suppose the guy that played Biff enjoyed having manure poured all over him, but you got paid for it. Suck it up, buttercup. Besides, you weren't driving a normal DeLorean. That sucker was nuclear. Well, actually, the car's still petrol. The flux capacitor needs something to give it an extra kick. Plutonium. Plutonium! My favourite one is when he goes back and he says, yeah, we just need some plutonium. And Doc Brown does his, I'm sure in 1985 you can buy plutonium in every high street store. Because he sounds like Jackie Mason or Bernie Sanders, because I'm not good at impressions. New powers will allow the military to shoot down drones around UK bases. Good. Did they not have that before? Feels like, why were they... Military bases should be able to shoot some stuff, more stuff. They're military bases. That's where the shooting should happen. If you're flying a drone near a military base, I didn't expect them to go, oh, can't touch it, health and safety, GDPR. Christ on a bike. Keep the comments coming through. We'll do some of those in a bit as well. How long have I already prattled on for? 27 minutes. I always prep this show thinking I'll barely do 15. Victoria, this is a weird one. Victoria roasted by Hub. And there's a good pun in there. Even I get this headline. David Beckham has poked fun at his wife's lack of cooking skills. Which would be fair enough if it weren't for the fact the last story we heard about this couple was she said she had an eating disorder, and he thinks, I know I'll mock. Part one of the story, effectively, you can't mock someone for not being able to cook when you know they don't eat. What are you thinking, man? Victoria, 51, took to her Instagram stories to share footage of a 50-year-old hubby preparing a Sunday roast for their family. She asked David if she needed any help, and he replied from whom, but we'll let him have it. As the fashion designer offered her input, David said, absolutely not, stay away. She will, all the way through that. Here we go. Villain. Bob Vylan's back in the news. Bob Vylan star, Bobby Vylan, feels unnecessary. It's even more tautologist than John Bon Jovi and Bon Jovi. If the Swiss wristwatch strap shop shuts. Bob Vylan star, Bobby Vylan, said he's not regretful of his Glastonbury chant and would do it again tomorrow. That'd be a good idea because there'd be no one in that field tomorrow. So that would have been better, if anything. If you've got stuff like that to say, do it in an empty field. If you manage to radicalise some cows, good luck to you. Here it is, this story which we kind of touched on at the start. Linehan case closed. Father Ted creator Graham Linehan said he will face no further action after being arrested at Heathrow for some tweets that were clearly a joke. It's in suspicion of inciting violence. I've definitely done jokes in today's show that are just as inciting violence. If a joke includes a reference to violence, are you saying it's inciting it? It's clear. The tweet was clearly a joke. I'm all for defending jokes, and if you don't like what's said, don't pay attention. But also, maybe the police need to have a little bit of a sorry for sending 5 cops. I know they were armed, but it was in an airport, so they're all armed anyway. Well, you could have sent in some non-armed ones. The armed ones could have been doing the patrol. And the idea that you needed 5 police officers in case it kicked off. Listen, I've performed every so often. Graham Linehan does stand up, so I've done a gig with him. I mean this with love. I don't think it takes 5 professional police officers to detain a man like that. He's not short, don't get me wrong. He's got a bit of heft to him, but he's a big man and he's out of shape, and for them it's a full-time job. He strikes me like a Dalek. You went up a small flight of stairs, he'd be knocked out of action. You know, he'd follow you, unlike the Daleks, but you get to the top and you'd be like, not a problem. And I mean that with love. I'm on his side. I'm saying you don't need 5. It doesn't sound like I'm on his side, does it? It sounds like I'm mocking his fitness levels. But either way, you shouldn't have sent 5 cops for a tweet. Oh, we better send 5 cops in case he grabs for his phone and tries to send another one. Tautology galore. Yeah, you're right. The drummer is Bobby Vylan. The drummer is Bobby Vylan. His real name is Wade Lawrence George, is it? The band is called Bob Vylan. The rapper is called Bobby Vylan. The real name is Pascal Robinson Foster. No, Pascal Robinson Foster sounds like some sort of scientific name, doesn't it? Oh, the Pascal Robinson Foster effect. If you irradiate any transition metal with neutrons, you get the Pascal Robinson Foster effect. I made that up clearly, but you'd still probably want to Google it to make sure I hadn't. You know, it seems believable. Are you sure he wasn't just really close? He was really close. I do get confused between small comedians and comedians who are on stage. Oh, no. What's happened? Oh, no. I'll tell you what's happened there. My missus was using the camera for some work and she didn't turn the thing off. So the camera eventually runs out of battery if it's left on for like 3 hours. All right, well, that's the end of that. There's only one story left to do. Anyway, good job we got the side cam in, innit? Randy guinea pigs have sparked a national crisis with a huge rise in the numbers abandoned. There's been a huge 40% rise in guinea pigs dumped this year. I don't even know where I was taking this. I just like the idea of Randy guinea pigs, which has been my username on certain websites. We're basically up to date. I could go full screen to give you the... Oh, I didn't even bother writing the things to plug. Because there's nothing to plug, that's why. So if you'd like to follow me on social media, at Mr. Stephen Allen. If you would like to subscribe to this, what's the thing? Do some engagement. So the live chat is great, thank you. Censorship says proper memes, you know, Steve Broadcasting live from the 1950s. What? If you'd like to follow me online, then please do drop me a tweet. Ring the bell. Whitehall 211. What you can do is ring the bell. Smash your bell. Thumbs up, put your thumb up and smash your bell on YouTube. Also, now you've done loads of comments here, leave a comment when the videos settle down afterwards. Not the live comments, the other comments on the video. Would be nice if you'd be up for that. The more engagement we get, the more people will be watching. Track me down on social media, the audio-only podcast. It's worth subscribing to. You get some episodes that aren't these ones. And that's basically it. Oh, Proper Memes sent me some another video. I know this might make you feel a bit queasy, and that's exactly why we're going to play it. So until next time, have a good one. Bye.